Beautiful people of the world, it is a new day and it's a new Metallica song and I am psyched. I am really excited for this. This is the third Metallica song in the last 3 months in a series of songs that they are releasing before the final drop of November 18th, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Here we go. A lot of you may recall the first song that was released was Hardwired. Hardwired was a pure thrasher, 4 minutes of just pure riffage, guitar solos, and Hetfield barking out those lyrics. It was a badass song. It was what we needed. I mean, it was 8 years of drought, and Metallica just sort of handed us that kick-ass gem. But then a month later, they dropped a new surprise, and it was Moth into Flame. Now that's where the metal, rock, music community all unanimously came together and said, whoa. This is not the regular Metallica that we know. I mean, this is not the Metallica of the last 20 years. This is a new, fresh, kick-ass Metallica. It had all the elements that we wanted out of Metallica. Heavy, fast, melodic, dynamic, great lyrics. It was just an all-round great song that set the bar really high for all the other songs on Hardwired to Self-Destruct. And then finally, yesterday, Metallica dropped their new song, At Last Rise. Now, any song that has the word rise in it is poised to be kick-ass, right? I mean, it just feels badass, the word rise. Anyway, the song dropped yesterday and it had a lot of people debating, it had a lot of people arguing, it had a lot of people talking about whether they like it or they don't like it, or whether it's mediocre or whether it's great. And I like that. I like when a band creates a bit of a discussion around their music. So let's break down the song and let's work through it together and let's see whether this is actually a good Metallica song or a bad Metallica song. I gotta say, at first listen, I didn't completely get it. I was like, okay. And that's only because when you look at Hardwired or when you look at Moth into Flame, it was packaged to us in a very different way than this song. I mean, Hardwired and Moth into Flame came out with a professionally done video. It was given to us in a way that we could have consumed differently. And at the same time, this song is following Moth into Flame, which, like I said earlier, sets such a high bar. So with this song on first listen, I wasn't very sure what to think of it. But then I thought it wasn't fair to pass judgment on first listen. So I watched the video, I heard the song, and then I decided that I didn't want to watch the video and just wanted to hear the song. I just wanted to sort of absorb the music and understand Metallica and absorb Metallica the way I've always done. So upon third, fourth, and fifth listen, I started to sort of formulate my opinion about the song. So let's break it down together. I think the song is a very clear tribute to new wave of British heavy metal. I mean, you could definitely hear influences of bands like Priest and Iron Maiden that are so prevalent and so apparent on this song that you must give that acknowledgement. I mean, it's there, it's right in your face. And I say that because when we look at the opening riff and we look at the main riff, it has a very strong Priest influence. I mean, if you didn't tell me this was a Metallica song, I would have completely accepted Rob Halford singing the verse. I don't know if you guys heard it, but that's completely what I heard. And then when the verse starts, that's unapologetically James. I mean, the verse is really cool. It's James spitting out, it's James sort of singing, and he has that sort of melody that's underlying the entire thing, which sounds really cool. But then it gets really interesting at the bridge and the chorus, because right there you feel that there's a very heavy Iron Maiden influence. And you could hear it very well, especially in the chorus. I mean, I saw some comments saying that it reminded them so much of Hallowed Be Thy Name, and honestly, it really does remind me of Hallowed Be Thy Name. I mean, if you remove Hetfield's vocals and you just sort of put Bruce Dickinson in there, it could probably work, right? But I appreciate that. I appreciate that Metallica is sort of looking not just towards themselves, but they're looking at bands that influence them and sort of paying tribute to these bands. And that's what I liked about this song so much. I like that, you know, they were taking the risk of removing themselves from the traditional Metallica shell and going into other areas where they haven't really played with before. But then it brings it back to sort of Metallica territory when Hammett starts playing the guitar solo. And that's the thing about Hammett. Hammett always makes you remember that this is a Metallica song. That's what Hammett does. He has this vibe that he adds into the song, and it just makes you feel that, yep, I'm listening to Metallica, and that's Kirk Hammett playing, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that that's Kirk Hammett's role with Metallica. I don't expect a John Petrucci-esque solo in any of Metallica's songs, and I accept that, and I think it works fine within whatever they're trying to produce. One thing that I felt was phenomenal was the part after the solo where the harmonies kick in. And I think, to me, those harmonies are probably the best harmonies that Metallica have ever written since the Master of Puppets album. I mean, seriously, man, you just go back and listen to that. That is it's so effective. I mean, it's emotional, it's heavy, it's melodic, it's everything that you want from James Hetfield. That's what you want from James Hetfield, and he delivered big in that part. I mean, it's like 30 seconds or whatever it is, but it was fantastic. Overall, I love the song. I thought that they were taking risks. I thought they were going in territories that they didn't go before. It doesn't sound like anything they've done before, and to that I appreciate. I appreciate that they're taking a risk, and I appreciate that it doesn't sound like Death Magnetic, because that's what I feared with this album. So far, nothing sounds like Death Magnetic. They're going into new territory, and that's what I appreciate. It's making me more excited for November 18th for Hardwired to Self-Destruct, where I will do a complete breakdown of track by track. So be sure to subscribe in order to see that when it comes out. One thing I want to say is that if we keep getting the same quality that we've been getting in the last 3 songs throughout the entire album, I feel that this album is going to become one of our favorite Metallica albums. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Did you like it? Did you think it was bad? Let me know. I would love to hear what you guys think. Hardwired to Self-Destruct, November 18th. I love the tracks already. Let's do this.